Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nurse New Bully. Me host Leroy, aka Dead in the Middle of Little Italy. Little did we know that we riddled two middlemen who didn't do diddly. With my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli. Just wanted to see if you got it right.
Did I?
You
people
did.
gonna play
You
it back.
did.
People gonna play it back to see if I got it right.
That is very. No, I'll give it to. That's hard to say. I can't even say that shit. Slow.
People are gonna rewind and see if I got that right. But yeah, I got that right. So yeah, we're back with the
Eli, aka Deep Cover. Fuck it.
For people that get the reference. So yeah, we're back with the episode, and yeah, just want to let everybody know that I got some bad news for you, because this particular episode is going to be heavily comic centric. So I've checked the analytics, and I know anytime we start going on comics, they're like, yep, time to check out. They're not talking about the MCU. They're not talking about HBO shit. Time to check the fuck out. So no, we're gonna just start off with comics. We might dip into some shit you might care about. We're gonna go right back into comics again, because some shit happened that we need to talk about. And the shit we need to talk about is, first and foremost, rest in peace to Neal Adams. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, okay, who is Neal Adams? Okay, you may not know who Neal Adams. I know a lot of people that listen to podcasts don't know who Neal Adams is. However, I think we need to address it because, yes, I know a lot of people, they only know one comic creator, and that was Stan Lee. That's it. And as far as Stan Lee, they don't know anybody else. They don't know even the big guys like Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane or Rob Liefeld, stuff that, you and I, Eli, know like the back of our hand, but people don't know those folks. So, of course, they won't know who Neal Adams is, because if you don't know Jim Lee, of course, you don't know Neal Adams, because Neal Adams is your favorite artist. He's done so much stuff. We're going to just start from there from the beginning. First, like I said, he actually started off with like Archie comics, writing Archie, drawing Archie comics, stuff like that. Then he moved over to Marvel, did like some of the early X-Men stuff nobody ever read. But when he jumped over to DC, that's when he started really taking off. Now, the thing is, he is the guy. When he did his Batman run, he is the guy, because before he got to Batman was like in the 1960s doing the TV shows like that. That's what Batman looked like. That's how Batman was being drawn. You're like, okay, cool. The moment he came on to do Batman, boom, this is what you got. It was the instant change of what Batman is. So this is what Batman looked like in the late 70s. And it was he taught you how to draw Batman.
70s, yeah.
Early 70s, like 72.
Before I was born, yeah.
Yeah, like this is early 70s. So he taught the artists how to draw Batman. Even in modern day time, Batman really hasn't changed that much.
He basically invented the modern Batman, or modern comics, comics, comic art. It was him,
right? Because they went from the old style. This is like grounded, more realistic, more dirty. That's what people were looking for, and they've seen it before. So, okay, this is what we're doing. There's a status quo going on from then forward. So,
because even Kirby, great, all the the shit that Marvel was doing was awesome, but it was still very comic book cartoony oriented. Mm-hmm. Whereas Neal Adams, he came from advertising. He was working in magazines and writing ads and trying to hook your attention. So he had to draw very realistic. He had a very photorealistic style and how to draw your attention, because they were ads. They were trying to sell shit. Well, how do you get the viewer's attention? You experiment with different angles and different compositions, and he brought that to comics. He basically brought advertising and commercialism to comics.
And it changed. Yeah.
Yeah, his covers, his experimentation with paneling and layouts. That was him. He basically, invented modern comics.
Yeah, just his storytelling with his panels. Yeah. So, let's just run by some characters. Like I said, he did some awesome stories. But let's just run by some characters he created. Like I said, he created Deadman. Of course, you don't know who Deadman is. If DC could ever get Justice League Dark off the ground, you know who he is. But of course, DC is going to DC. He also created Ra's al Ghul.
Him and Denny O'Neil,
Him and Denny O'Neil. Like we talked about Denny O'Neil actually earlier, either this year or last year.
It was recently.
They were pretty. It was recently. Like it's funny that they kind of passed almost like close together, because they were kind of like a 1-2 punch. Denny O'Neil wrote it. Neal Adams drew it. So, like I said, created Ra's al Ghul, created Talia al Ghul, Batman's future baby mama. Apparently, they said the reference for I don't have the picture in front of me, but I get they referenced Talia Ghul after a Bond girl at the time, the one from The Spy Who Loved Me, the one in the
Jane
helicopter
Seymour?
shit.
Is it Jane
Not
Seymour?
Jane Seymour.
No,
The
she was
other
in
one,
she was
the
in
assassin.
Live and Let Die. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so she was like an assassin like that. But anyway, they modeled Talia Ghul after her. Like you see the photo of her, and they like look identical. You know,
and that's what they were. That's what they were doing to Batman, because like you were saying before, Danny O'Neill and Neal Adams came along. Batman was very campy. The 66 show was popular. You know, Batman was kind of goofy and kind of a parody, and they wanted to bring back, you know, a sense of like adventure. So they were inspired by James Bond movies. You know, that's why
Ra's al Ghul was a Bond villain. That's
Ra's al Ghul was a Bond villain. Batman started globetrotting around the world, fighting different villains. Like his rogues gallery weren't really doing anything with the rogues gallery at the time. So Batman, that's why they started, you know, coming up with Ra's al Ghul and all these other villains and globetrotting around and making Batman this international man of mystery, so to speak. You know, and because they brought like a realism back to Batman. Because Danny O'Neill at the time wasn't he like a newspaper writer? He had a second job as a reporter or a journalist.
Right, because no comic writer at the time wanted to admit they were comic writers.
Yeah, and this was 1970s New York City. So he was covering all the fucked up news at the time in New York. So then he brought that to Batman. So that's why those stories got all of a sudden a little bit more realistic and grittier than the campy space adventures with the brave and the bold and all that goofy shit.
Like if you read those stories, some of them he wasn't even fighting Superman. He felt like gangsters, like real mobsters and stuff like that. You know, and that was the whole story. But it was interesting. You know.
Yeah.
Also, he also co-created John Stewart. You know, that was also from the whole Green Lantern, Green Arrow run. You know, it came from that. Let me see. We also created.
They brought that. And the heroes. Hard traveling heroes again. Danny O'Neill, Neal Adams. They brought that realism to those stories.
I was going to get to that, where we got Speedy that came out as a drug addict. You know, at the time, like people want to say, "Oh, comics just became woke." This is in the 70s.
Yeah,
a superhero was a drug addict. You know, and then they paid attention to it. So comics have always been woke. It's not a new thing.
And you had these two superheroes sort of going around. Traveling around America, you know, and dealing with all these societal problems at the time. And he took two different viewpoints. You had Green Lantern, who represent like a conservative, and then Green Arrow was the more liberal point of view. So these two opposing views dealing with these societal issues at the time. And this was before I was born. You know,
right? So this whole right and left thing, this isn't something new. I mean, this has been going on forever. You know?
Yeah. So comics are always political.
Not a new thing, you know. What else we got here? We also have so those are just a sample of the characters he invented. Did we get Man Bat? We got Man Bat. Okay. So not only that, when we just talked about how they tried to get away from the whole campy Batman villains and try to do realistic stuff like that. But here's the thing. They actually brought back some of the Batman villains that they actually took away from it. For instance, like Two-Face. Two-Face was like dead in the comics. They didn't even use him. They forgot about him. So Neal Adams, Denny O'Neill brought him back and made him scarier, where all those tropes of Harvey Dent, it was here. They were like, oh, that's it. And another thing that everybody should know about, they brought back the Joker.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about the Joker is that the comics were so hard, you know, they were trying to be so goofy and campy at the time that Joker was just, you know, committing pranks and gags on people, stuff like that. In this one, they brought him back as a mass murderer. He was killing people, and Batman had to stop him as a serial killer. They wasn't doing Joker like that at the time.
Yeah,
so people want to give credit. Yeah,
him and you know, Neal Adams and Denny O'Neill invented the modern Joker.
They invented the modern Batman and the modern Joker. They did both of them. So, like I said,
and Two-Face. They made Two-Face more grotesque. Yeah, his face got a lot more grotesque when Neal Adams drew him.
Yeah, and that, like I said, it's a sample of the stuff he did. We're not even going to go into deep with all the stuff he did. He also, in probably his greatest work, also did Superman versus Muhammad Ali. Yes, this is a real comic. It really happened. We didn't make this up. It's not some internet meme. And if you want to know who won, there's your answer. So
because they fought on a red sun or something. Or they fought on a planet
they fought
on a red sun, so Superman wasn't super. So he got his
right.
ass whooped.
Right. So they were mano a mano, and Harley kicked his ass. So that was it.
What's funny about that cover, I guess that cover, it's all a bunch of celebrities in the audiences. If you go back to that cover, all these actors, and there's like Donnie and Marie and the guys from Welcome Back, Kotter. These are old 70s celebrities.
They came to the Red Planet also, right?
Yeah, but like I guess Telly Savalas was supposed to be on there, and he turned him into Lex Luthor because Telly Savalas didn't give the okay. Neither did John Wayne, that prick. Fuck John Wayne. So like he drew John Wayne, but John Wayne didn't want to be on the cover, so then he drew a mustache to change to make
it was John Wayne. So
yeah.
So and that's the thing. So if we just stop there, that would be enough, and Neal Adams would be immortalized. But wait, there's more. Okay, so all the stuff he did, this is in the comics. Let's talk about stuff he did outside of the comics. So not only did he, let's talk about Superman for a second. Everybody knows who Superman is. So the writers, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, are the guys who created Superman. Back in the 40s or 50s, whatever like that, when they actually, or in the 30s, they sold the rights to DC to Superman for $130. They sold Superman for $130.
Work for hire.
Work for hire. That's what it's $130. Think about that now. That's not even money even back then. DC has probably made either millions or billions off Superman. And it got to the point that they didn't even open up the books for Siegel and Shuster. Siegel and Shuster had no idea how much money Superman was making for DC because they didn't see a dime of it. So what Neal Adams did, Neal Adams actually stepped in, helped them with their legal case to take DC to court.
Yeah.
And they won the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially so what happened, when the first movie came out. I mean, this was 78. When did that first Superman come out? Yeah, like, and they're like, Neal Adams was like, wait a second, DC is making a movie. Warner Brothers is making a movie, a Superman movie, and Shuster and Siegel are basically broke, living in shitty apartments. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Heart
conditions, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, so he got them paid. And again, that comes from, he came from advertising. He came from commercials. And he's like, once he came to comics, he's like, wait a second, comic artists don't get royalties? What the fuck?
Right.
So he ended up changing the comic business too. Like artists deserve royalties. Yeah.
Right. Because at the time, Superman didn't even have like the writers' names on it. Like anytime you see a Superman show or TV show, you'll see created by Siegel and Shuster. Before Neal Adams, that didn't happen. It was just Superman. So when they put their names on the characters, that means now they get title credit. They get credit for the show also, which means that's how they get royalties. That's how they get paid. Yeah. So even their families getting paid now. I think it's like $30,000 a year or some shit like that. It's still not a lot. Yeah, it's still pennies
compared to what DC and Warner Brothers made off Superman.
Exactly, and still making all Superman TV shows and T-shirts and shit like that. So their families are still getting paid from it, And every now and then the families be like, "No, we're coming up for the whole thing," And they throw some more money on them, stuff like that. But before Neal Adams, they got nothing. So all the stuff Neal Adams did, just drawing wise. And like I said, we talking about John Stewart now. John Stewart's one of the first black superheroes in DC, like period. Nubia beat him by like a year or so like that, but still, and he actually was modeled. Yeah.
And he wanted to make him like not a gangster or not a criminal.
Right. Because when they were making the first black superhero, they're like, should we call him Ladarius something?
Lincoln Washington.
Right, or some shit like that. I'm like, no, just call him John Stewart. Just give him a simple ass name. That's it.
If you ever like heard Neal Adams speak, he's an East Coast guy. He talks shit. He's very candid. He's very he's got a big mouth, and he's like I said, an East Coast guy who ain't gonna be polite. He'll tell it like it is. And I remember because I remember he did podcasts with Kevin Smith's podcast back before when he was just doing podcasts and not on YouTube and shit. And he had Neal Adams on his podcast a few times. And he told that story of when he created John Stewart. And he's like, I don't want him to be a criminal. I don't want him to be a pimp. I want him to be like a normal guy, And then he got him and Denny O'Neil came up with the story. He gets the script from Denny O'Neil and his name is Lincoln Washington. And he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, what the fuck is this shit? And Denny O'Neil's like, that wasn't me. He's like, that was the publisher. So he goes to the publisher, like, what the fuck? We're not calling this the first black superhero after a slave or a slave.
Right.
But just give him a normal name. And he's like, well, go ahead, give him a normal name. And he just like, John Stewart. I just came up with that. Just pulled that name out of his ass. It's just like John Stewart. I like he doesn't. Yeah. So yeah, it's just funny, you know.
So yeah. Rest in peace to Neal Adams. So hopefully you didn't know who Neal Adams was. We gave you ample detail about who Neal Adams is, and you'll go from there. So yeah.
And he did cons. Yeah. Like I've seen him. Like most of the cons I went to, he was there.
You took a picture of him. Yeah, I thought you uploaded that picture. You could have showed you.
I should have. he was a little spendy to meet. I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass. I never actually got to meet him. But that's because he had his entourage. You know, just to talk to him, you had to like fork over your money. You know,
right? and I'm not gonna apologize. But remember, we did that episode where they got on me because I talked shit about Neal Adams at the time when I met him.
So you did meet him.
Yeah, remember we talked about that. Yeah, and the comic cast was like, "Oh, Leroy, what the hell are you talking about?" Like that. You don't talk about Neal Adams that way. I was like, But at the same time, it was a bit. It was a gag. He was an asshole at the time, but still, it was just a gag. I didn't get a chance to meet him. Like I said, he was expensive to meet also, just to even approach him. So yes,
yeah, just to get there, you have to talk to his like greeter and okay, what do you want? And then you pay up front what you want, what's your autograph, you get to get his prints and but yeah, he was a little spendy and I sometimes I just can't float. I mean, cons are expensive, man.
Yeah, because everybody has their hands out and they're trying to get paid. You can't knock him for that. But
yeah, he deserves it. He deserves all the kudos. But yeah, I regret not getting him something signed from him. All the times that I did see him. But I just want to like Pete Davidson.
The hell, man.
Peter David, Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna say watching Kardashians before you cut the podcast or some shit.
Peter David, like I walked by his booth, he's just chilling, eating a donut and a coffee and shit. Hey, dude, what is that? But yeah, but no one knows who Peter David is anyway.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, Neal Adams is basically a legend. He changed everything. I mean, shit.
Like you wouldn't have modern day Batman without him.
Yeah.
Period.
He basically defined Batman for everybody. Like I remember because I was a kid in the late 70s and I used to watch the 66 show on TV. And the Super Friends was on. I was playing with Migos. And yeah, Batman was a little fluffy and goofy and campy and shit, kind of a mockery of what he used to be. And then, you see when I realized, Batman is a comic book character, and then you see the comics, and he's got this big billowing cape. It's all like fanned out, and he looks spooky and creepy and kind of bad, doing these poses and shit that you never seen him do in like the Super Friends. And like, holy shit! Right. And then you find out, it was Neal Adams that started that. Yeah.
Like I said, he walked, and then Frank Miller took it and just ran with it, and yeah, that's what you got. So yeah. So, we got one. We finally got one. What do we got? Oh, need some more.
Fuentes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what he's talking about. Yeah, we don't do that. I know. I appreciate you for checking out Outright Geekery, but yeah, we don't do the wing clips.
Is he from Facebook? Yeah, because was it a couple weeks ago? There's a bunch of people commenting on Facebook. And I didn't see any of the comments till after the show. It was really weird.
There's a reason I meant to tell you about that. I'll tell you about that after the show. I don't want to put our business out there. There's a reason.
Oh,
yeah.
Some business. Okay.
Yeah. We'll talk. All right. So yeah, let's go to the next part of the podcast. We could talk. I just want to just briefly talk about Doctor Strange. Like I said, Doctor Strange comes out in a couple days from now. And I do want to say one thing. Stop spoiling damn movie. That's all I'm going to say. I know there are like tons of clips outside right now and you're watching. Oh, yeah, you got a clip that Goku shows up and Luke Skywalker shows up. I don't want to know. If you know, just keep it to yourself and just be like, okay, I'll just wait for the movie to come out. But until then, man, don't be just spoiling the movie left and right. Watch for the Philippines. Shout out to the Philippines. Kim Evan Timimbo Munez. I hope I said that right. So yeah. So that's the thing. So if you know something that's gonna happen in Doctor Strange, don't spoil it. Just wait for the movie to come out. and then go from there. But you don't have to show every single clip, and all these news sites doing it because I know you want the clickbait stuff like that, but you don't have to do it. Shout out to Outright Geekery, but still, I think we can move on past that. Yeah, let's talk about. Okay, we'll talk about the CW. I think no one else cares about this but me, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because I saw it coming, and it finally happened. Like I said, we all the shows got renewed except for the Batwoman. I don't know why I keep saying but it's still Batwoman Legends tomorrow. They didn't get renewed, so I was like, it's only a matter of time before CW throws the axe and boom, there it is. So yeah, so Batwoman is canceled, and I don't think anybody gives a shit that Batwoman is canceled. It's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. It looks like some cosplaying shit anyway. Somebody really cares. But let's see. Oh, and I do want to give the Batwoman I keep saying the Batwoman. The Batwoman credit for having the shittiest live action Joker ever. Her brother. So I think we were a little bit too hard. We judged Jared Leto a little bit too harshly. Because there's another level you can go to worse than him. So
is Arkham Asylum like a movie theater? I just saw the marquee back there.
Was it? I don't think I even noticed that. Oh no, he's out of Arkham Asylum. He was like freeing Arkham inmates for no reason whatsoever to just attack the Batwoman.
It's got like a movie theater marquee. Here's Arkham.
Yeah, it's just Arkham Asylum is there, So yeah, that's my thing. But my thing about the Batwoman is that I think a little too many people a little bit too happy. And you know who they are, the same people that were making Captain Marvel and Brie Larson videos a year after they were made. All of a sudden Batwoman got canceled and and dancing the street. We did it. We won. Okay, you won. What the fuck? What did you win? It's just a shitty show that lost. So you don't have to. Apparently, we're too sensitive that we can't handle lesbian superheroes on TV. Oh, clutch my pearls. It's not that bad, man. It's okay. The reason the show got canceled, not because it's woke. It's because it was a shitty show. That's all. Just a second to be done with that, And I watched every episode. Now I'm not gonna, shed a tear for Batwoman at all. But it did need to be a show. But my thing is this whole wokeness, this woke thing right here. Woke used to mean you was aware of things, or you were socially conscious of things like that. Somehow it got hijacked and culturally appropriated. That whole term about it. So now woke is just a dog whistle for certain people, for who.
It's a trigger word, yeah.
It's a trigger word. So yeah, the people that climb the Capitol, it's a word for them, So yeah, so my thing is, I don't know what my thing is. My thing is, don't get too excited for shit like this. Just, it's a show that ended, just be done with it. You don't have to throw this or that in there, because we understand what the dog whistle of woke is. We understand that any show that doesn't have a straight white male as the lead, yeah, it's woke. That's what it is. We know what it means.
And I'm pretty sure it's because the reason why it was canceled wasn't because of the woke shit. It was probably because Arkham Asylum was a movie theater.
And the shittiest Joker ever. I don't care how
that. Yeah.
I don't care how woke it is. This just sucks. This is it. I don't care about the politics of this shit.
That's the Joker.
Right, that's the Joker on this show. It's her brother, long lost brother, some shit like that. He comes back and he's terrible. Oh my God, he's terrible. It's almost worth watching his beard just to see how bad he is.
His beard is shaved into a smile, like that was the thing of being clever.
Did it? I didn't even notice.
It looks
that.
like it. Like it looks like it. Like that's the Joker,
Yeah,
it's fucked up smile.
I'll be honest, it's almost worth watching because he's so bad. Because it's so they're like, damn, this is really the worst Joker ever. Nobody watched it. That's another thing. Nobody watched it. It doesn't matter how woke it is, politics it is. If the ratings suck, they cancel this show. That's how every show that has ever been made gets canceled. Nobody watches it.
I think they tried to go woke was to try to keep people to watch it.
Right.
And then they said,
we already got a lesbian superhero. Let's make this lesbian superhero black. Let's really piss people off. They just lost their minds then. Like, we already hated the show to begin with. Oh, man. I think the only people that watched the show was them. I think that was it. Yeah, anyway. Now, this is the show that I got upset about. This is a show that hurt me, that was near to my heart. Legends of Tomorrow got hurt. Now, I know nobody watched this show either. Eli, I'm going to make a confession. It was my favorite Arrowverse show, period.
Well, God bless you.
I'm telling you, it was a fun show because the thing was after like season 2 or season 3, they forgot they was a superhero show. It just like did whatever the hell they wanted to, and it was fun. It was just fun watching them just do shit, just hijinks. And every now and then, when it's crossover time or season finale time, they might dress up in their superhero suits, to remind people that they are superheroes, But it was just fun to watch them just come up with the craziest shit ever, Like what other show can they give you where a giant teddy bear fights a demon?
Yeah, I started out. I watched the first few seasons and then stopped. Like all those shows. I was a big fan of The Flash and Arrow, and never finished those either. I fell off of them too.
Right, that'll say it. But the thing was, Legends kept being fun. They kept getting funner, wackier, all this shit like that. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think WandaVision stole their premise from Legends Tomorrow. Well, there was a whole like 2-episode season where the Legends got kidnapped. Some demon trapped them in a bunch of TV shows like Star Trek and Friends and Magnum PI shit like that. And they had to like figure out they was in a TV show to get out. And then a year or two later, WandaVision. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. Legend was all season 2 and great, but then it just fills it out. Now I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I liked Legends up until like about season 5. About like the last 2 seasons, season 6, season 7, yeah, they ran out of steam by then. They you can tell they ran out of ideas. They didn't know what the hell to do anymore, Like they just did wild shit, man. Like George Lucas, man, like the Legion of Doom wanted to kill George Lucas because they hated the prequels, So the Legends had to go back in time to like save George Lucas, to finish the Star Wars movies. Or the time Gorilla Grodd wanted to kill Barack Obama. It was some shit like just stupid shit, man. What else we got? But that's all we got. I'm gonna miss Legends. Nobody will shed a tear for Batwoman. Fuck Batwoman. It was just a show. And I do understand Batwoman and Batgirl are 2 different things, people. Stop getting confused. Yes, I understand they were both white women that got changed into black women. Still. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, let's do another hot topic. Let's do another one. Where is it? I put it somewhere. I didn't put it anywhere. Anyway, we'll just talk about it. Okay, so like I said, for those who don't know, a holiday is coming up this month in a couple days. Not Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, well, damn it.
Yeah. But you can still get drunk that day. The holiday that is coming up is May the 4th.
Oh, yeah.
So May the 4th be with you. Yeah, so it's a thing. It's a thing. People celebrate. Now, I understand Star Wars fans have a thing. And I understand that nobody hates Star Wars worse than Star Wars fans. But for at least one day, can we all hold hands, kumbaya, come together as one, stop the violence, no peace? Can we do that just for one day? Just enjoy all of Star Wars.
Not if you like the Rey and blah, blah, blah.
Free comic day. Is that a thing? I feel like we should know that, Eli. But
I heard it's coming back. I heard it's going to be at a comic. They're going to be at comic stores this year.
Oh, because comic stores actually open now that we're out of semi out of a pandemic. So yeah. So yeah, that's my thing. So like I said, Star Wars Day is coming. Normally, I usually like binge watch all the Star Wars stuff like that, but people have been pissing me off just even mentioning Star Wars so much. I'm scared to even do it or even mention it. But I think I'll do it. I think I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
I would even stream them, but
Yeah, after Boba Fett, I'm burned out on stuff.
like I said, Eli, for one day, we're gonna enjoy everything Star Wars is, and May the 5th, we go back to what we were doing before, hating Star Wars, even though we love Star Wars.
I'll probably throw on the OG trilogy, like I always do.
Yeah.
Throw on your favorite shit. We all can pick. We all got our favorite shit, like that shit.
Right. And talk about your favorite shit.
Yeah.
Then the next day, hate on again. But just for one day, all Star Wars fans, just like Star Wars. That's all. Now, Eli, there is one thing that I had my eye on that I'm thinking that I might do, but I don't know if I want to do it or not. Anybody listening? Have you played Lego Star Wars? Yes. I've been thinking about it, Eli. I don't know. I might want to play. I want to pick it up because they're saying, because I didn't give a shit about Lego Star Wars until they said it's all of the Star Wars movies in one game. Like you play the entire saga. I'm like, well, I might want to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been thinking about picking up. I've played some of the Lego games. I played Lego Batman. I play Lego Star Wars. They're fun.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, it's like, not for $60.
Not for $60. Yeah.
Not for $60.
A year or two before I do get it.
Right. We got to come down on the price a little bit now. May catch the sale. Oh, here we go. Okay. Now you triggered Eli.
Ah.
Take a good sip before you lay into it. Okay, well, what you got for me, Eli?
Oh,
I know you want.
Obi-Wan is coming out. No, I actually am excited for the show. But like, Star Wars shit, we got some issues. So, yeah, I don't know. I had a thing about, I think it'd be cool, but they say Anakin's coming back or Vader's coming back. I don't know about the duel. They say there's going to be another duel. I don't think that's necessary because then that kind of undermines the other duels.
The original trilogy, right?
The original trilogy.
They pretty much mentioned that the last time we met, it was at this time. Now we're doing this. Now, like,
yeah.
I forgot about the other time we met. Like,
how many times is Obi-Wan going to kick Vader's ass?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's my thing. Quit fucking up the original stories by just throwing crap in there. Fuck it. I'd rather see Baby Yoda. Fuck it.
Right. Have him fight.
I'm tired of Baby Yoda. Jesus Christ. I'm so tired of Baby Yoda. Fuck it. Yeah. I'm sure, hopefully the show will be about Obi-Wan and not half the episodes have Baby Yoda in them.
Oh, man. Get it all out the system,
Baby Yoda and Baby Luke. That's it.
Get it all out the system because May the 4th, no bad math of Star Wars for that one day.
Yeah, 3 episodes of Baby Luke playing with Baby Yoda. And everybody be like, "Oh, I love this show, the best show ever."
The Mandalorian, aka the Baby Yoda show.
Yeah, Boba Fett, aka the Baby Yoda show.
Baby Yoda will find a way to show up in Obi-Wan also. So here we go.
Baby Obi-Wan.
I guarantee you Obi-Wan saved Baby Yoda. I guarantee. Remember that one Jedi that saved him? I guarantee you it was him. They're going to find a way.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure. They'll find a way. All right. So that being said, let's move on to the next part of the podcast. Like I said, this is the Comic Book Bullies where we talk about comic books, and we got a shit load of comic books to come out with. That's the weird thing about this podcast is that the hype podcast we do, it's either nothing to talk about or it's too much shit to talk about. It's one, and this is one of those weeks where it's too much shit. But at the same time, it's technically the beginning of the month. So of course, or at the end of the month, really. That's when the shit came out. So yeah. For May the 4th, is going to have a bunch of events going on. Yeah, and hopefully everybody will enjoy them.
Yeah, I used to go to Star Wars trivia and shit, and yeah, we used to do shit when shit was open. Not last couple years, but yeah.
I remember when Hayden they had like some Star Wars celebration, and Hayden Christensen came out, and I think he thought that he was going to be like either Luke's warm response or get booed. But when it was like a standing ovation, he was like, "What the fuck? Y'all like me now?" Like, y'all used to hate me like 10 years ago, but yeah, that's how things are.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, those kids that did like him grew up to hate Rey and Poe.
Right. The circle of life.
Yeah.
All right. So who's doing first? You got more books than I do, so I guess you want to go first.
Okay. So what are we doing? You're doing Spider-Man, right?
I'm doing Spider-Man.
Okay. What should I do then?
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Let me get through these the Shadow War books. So I'll do both of them right away. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
It's
Deathstroke Incorporated.
Deathstroke Incorporated, number whatever, I don't know. And then Robin number whatever, I don't know. But these are the Shadow War tie-ins. So yes, there's the event going on in the Batman mythos here where Ra's al Ghul has been murdered, presumably by Deathstroke. But Deathstroke's like, no, that wasn't me. That's an imposter. So basically, everyone's trying to figure out who shot Ra's al Ghul, and they blew up his body. They can't resurrect him in the Lazarus pit or nothing. So everybody's trying to find out who did, who killed Ra's al Ghul. Talia al Ghul basically got every ninja on Earth to look for Deathstroke, and they're trying to find him and kill him. Batman's, being a detective, and he's going around detecting, and Deathstroke is trying to clear his name. And here he is with his son, Respawn, and they go into hiding, one of his hideouts and shit. So they're at the hideout, but then they get attacked by Damian and his daughter. what's the daughter's name? I forget. The little baby Deathstroke. I forget her name. I'm not reading.
Rose. She
Yeah,
got a super villain name, but I just know Rose.
I forget.
Ravager.
Yeah,
Ravager.
That's her name. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So they come and they show up, and that's basically the end of the Deathstroke book, and then it continues on in the new Robin book. So they're still at the hideout. Damian and his Deathstroke's daughter's there. They start fighting. Let me get to that image. I got another image, so let's go to that. So they start fighting. Damian starts fighting with Deathstroke's son, and they're all ninja kicking and shit. And then they figure out, oh, well, it turns out they're kind of half brothers because his mom's Talia.
So that is Talia's son.
Yeah, so that's Talia's other son, and Deathstroke is his dad. And so like, oh my God, you're my brother. Oh my God, blah blah blah. So they have this, we're brothers, And that Batman shows up and he's like, hey, we got to, he knows that Deathstroke didn't kill
because his body movements didn't match up or some shit.
Yeah, all that shit. So basically we're all going to band together and figure this out, and it's going to continue on in whatever next book, the Shadow War series. So yeah, this is just a little, not much happens, just that, like, as far as like big drama, it was like confirming that Deathstroke's son is Talia's son too, and him and Damian are brothers. They got the same mom. And
him and Damian know each other because they was on that tournament.
Yeah, see, I didn't read that. I didn't read any of that shit, but yeah, they make references to that.
Yeah, that's where Respawn first showed up. It's like Respawn technically kind of trained Damian on that thing.
Yeah. Like basically, there's that Robin book. Everyone says it's good. I just haven't read it. But yeah, they make references to that and all. And I haven't been reading Deathstroke Inc. either, so I don't know any all these weird ninja assassins that are, got wings and shit and look like monsters and mutants and shit. But yeah, it's still a fun story. A lot of kicking ass and pretty cool action and shit. But yeah, I've come this far in this story, so I'm gonna see it through. So 4 out of 5.
Cool. 4 out of 5. Cool. Okay. All right. So since both of those books you did were written by Joshua Williamson, who's pretty much writing everything at DC right now, we're gonna stick with DC and stick with Joshua Williamson also and review the other book that he did, which is Justice League 75. This is actually the first Justice League book he's written because every other book is written by Brian Michael Bendis, but his run has been wrapped up, and it's actually the final issue of this book. So, and what happens in this book? He kills the Justice League. They're dead. So yeah, it all happens in this book. It's like
hence
a one
the title.
Hence the title. Yeah. So it's exactly what it says it is. Yeah. So trying to see where are we right now. Yeah. So the book is called, and the funny thing about it, the death of Justice League is Justice League 75, just like Superman 75 back in the 90s was the death of Superman. Interesting tidbit. So let's get to, and just let you know, one Justice League member does survive. I'll let you guess who it is.
Batman.
Anyway, let's go. Let's start with the book. Okay. All right. So the book starts off with the Justice League doing their thing. We go to Earth Zero. Earth Zero is our Justice League. Like I said, it's 52 universes, but Earth Zero is the one we need to be concerned about. Black Adam gets kidnapped. He disappears out of nowhere. All the other Justice League members get kicked out of nowhere. They're like, oh, where are we going? They get disappeared. Where do they go? They go to the Hall of Heroes. They go to the Hall of Heroes, where they go to the headquarters of the Justice League Incarnate. Now, I do want to let you know about this story, that this is heavy DC multiverse crisis shit. So you don't know your Captain Carrots from your Chinese Flash, you might be a little confused, So yeah, so that's where they are right now. So they are in the Hall of the Justice League Incarnate, who are the multiverse Justice League. So they're like the big boy Justice League team, and that's where you meet Superman and President Superman and Dr. Multiverse. If you don't know who President Superman is the Superman of Earth 23. So he's the leader of the Justice League Incarnate, which means he outranks our Superman. Justice League, the Earth 23, where all the white superheroes are black and whatever. Anyway, he tells him, yeah, Superman, we fucked up. You're like, well, where's Flash? Yeah, okay, remember Darkseid, the big bad who used to like kick y'all ass all the time, shit like that? Well, somebody kicked his ass, called the Darkness, and he's coming for us. And he's kidnapped your Flash, Barry Allen. Yeah, we don't know where Barry Allen is. He's gone. He's like been fucked up doing some other shit like that. So this big thing called the Great Darkness is coming for us. I already kicked their ass one time. That's why we decided to get some help, because he's trying to take over the Bleed, which is the area that separates the multiverses. Like I said, this is some Grant Morrison mind fuck type shit. So just stay with me, you know. So we got Zatanna and Shazam, like, I don't know what the fuck they talking about, you know. And then Dr. Multiverse shows up to like, look, he's coming. Oh, and they was like, yeah, it's the Spectre, he's dead. So whoever this dude is strong enough to kill the dude that's strong enough to beat the shit out of Superman. So yeah, that's when the Great Darkness affects the Hall of Heroes. They're like, look, we need to get out of here. And Dr. Multiverse is like, don't worry, I'm gonna take us to the front line of actually what the hell is going on. And they disappear and they go to some dead multiverse. And when they get there, that's when they meet Pariah. Pariah is from the old 80s Crisis. He was like the Anti-Monitor's henchman or some shit like that. Anyway, he released the Great Darkness. And they're like, okay, and I'm going to destroy the entire multiverse, because that's what the Great Darkness wants me to do. And I'm going to reset everything. And that's why Yomoros died. So he wanted the Just League to come here so he can kill him. And he sends up his army of the Great Darkness, which is these guys: Darkseid, Doomsday, Eclipso, Necron, the baddest of the baddest, Ares, the baddest of the baddest of the baddest. So Trigon, all these guys like that. So one of these guys would take the entire Justice League to take down. Pariah has assembled all of them to fight. So that's when we get the Justice League and the Justice League Incarnate fighting these motherfuckers and just fight the shit out of them, and they just go to war and shit like that. And they fight, and Batman's just like, you know what, fuck this, we're gonna fight for the ride. I'm not fighting Doomsday, you know. So that's when Superman and President Superman try to fight Darkseid, and then they realize that something isn't right here. Like, Darkseid never shuts up when he fights. Why is he like not talking? You know, and Wonder Woman's fighting Ares. She's like, okay, this ain't Ares. I know when I fight Ares. So they were like, okay, so something's not right here. And basically what Pariah is saying, like, once he builds up enough multiversal energy, the Great Darkness can clone these guys and make them as powerful as they need to be, you know. So yeah, so go past that. And that's when they get their ass kicking. Black and like, we need backup. And that's when John Stewart shows up. And he's like, you got backup. I'm bringing the guys some. So if you haven't been reading John Stewart's Green Lantern book, in the final issue of that book, he met Jack Kirby. Yes, that Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby gave him God powers. So that's it. And he starts beating the shit out of everybody. They're like, yeah, these guys can handle my light. I'm kicking the shit out of them. And that's when this shit happens. The Quintessence shows up, like, wait, the Quintessence is dead. So that means the Spectre shows up. The Spectre now works for the bad guys. And this is the guy that can kick the shit out of Superman. So he easily kills John Stewart. John Stewart's done. He's out of there. So that's one down. Batman goes to try to take down Pariah. Like, okay, we need to stop this now. But those shadow demons from Crisis show up and kick the shit out of him. And that's when Green Arrow shows up. You're like, okay, stand back, Batman. I got this. I'm gonna show you how it's done. Even though Doomsday is standing in front of him. So Doomsday is charging at him. Black Canary kind of like hails him back with his thing. He shoots an arrow, and it's like the perfect arrow that goes through everybody, that barely misses Pariah. But it blows up and takes Pariah out with his machine out. So when he takes the machine out, all of his Great Darkness bad guys kind of just fade away. You know, and Green Arrow's talking shit like that. See, Batman, I told you I could do what it's done. Now we're gonna go home and fix some chili, and that's gonna be it, because I am the baddest motherfucker in the whole multiverse. Boom, Doomsday smacks shit out of him. So Green Arrow is dead. If he can kill Superman with a punch, of course he can kill Green Arrow with one punch. You know, so basically, Pariah is trying to build the machine again. That's when Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman just like, we're gonna stop you right now. You know, and then Dr. Multiverse shows up like, whoa. Pariah is way more dangerous than you think he is. And as Pariah blasts him and one-shots the Trinity with one hit. And that's when you get that Crisis, you know, thing where Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman just like fade away. They skulls and shit, everything. They've been evaporated. One shot from this guy. You know, he's just like, I'm come to kill the multiverse, and then I will be able to pay for my sins. Oh, he kills other Justice League members too, you know, and I will pay for my sins. And Black Adam like, no, you will die for your sins. And Black Adam tries to punch him. Like, no, stop, man. You can't. Look, I have survived a million multiverse deaths. I am not about to be punched by some false god. So he's like, take Black Adam up. And kills the Justice League Incarnate also. So President Superman, Captain Carrot, Chinese Flash, all dead, you know. And then he tries to blast Shazam in the face, and you'll be happy once I kill the multiverse. You got Black Adam going Shazam, and then Shazam bolt comes out of nowhere, blasts his Pariah, and blasts Black Adam away from him. So Black Adam is the last League member to live. And I think Black Canary lives also, but I don't know. She didn't die. But anyway, we go to present day. Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice, you got the Justice League members that are left: Detective Chimp, Naomi, Wally West, and John shows up. John's just like, what happened to Justice League? We hadn't heard from Justice League. Where's my dad? We haven't heard from him. And that's when they hear this loud boom, and you see Black Adam, and he goes, Thanos is coming, or some shit, Yeah, Justice League's dead. So yeah, that's the book. So this is actually the first, basically Dark Crisis issue 0. So this is just a prelude to Dark Crisis, So we'll see how it goes. So overall, that was a cool book. 4 out of 5. I know we're supposed to be all emotional upset like that because the Justice League died. Every single one of these fuckers have died like 5 times before. So why should we care this time? So
and I thought death metal was supposed to be like the no more crises after this.
Well, this is right, but this is another crisis that's coming up, and it's like, okay, but I don't know why do we need another crisis?
Anti-crisis or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, this supposed to be anti-crisis, stop all crises, but now another crisis coming up, and why do we need another crisis? I don't know, but yeah, whatever. Justice League's dead. Move on. Now you got Black Batman, you got Gay Superman, you got whatever. So
there you go.
What you got next?
You doing Last Ronin?
Yeah. Did you read it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do Last Ronin. Yeah.
Okay, I will do Alien number 11.
Q.
So Marvel took over Alien Comics from Dark Horse.
Alien Queen is a Disney princess now. Yeah.
Yeah. And they haven't been bad. They don't go quite as hard as the Dark Horse comics used to, but they try. They give it their best. And the art is really cool. But I've been actually getting into the second story arc where there's this religious cult, this new wave religion on this other planet. This planet of like a commune. This new religious commune on a planet, and a ship crash lands. Of course, it's full of aliens, and it infests the commune. They all start, getting attacked, and the leader of the commune, this woman, she's like the pastor or the reverend or whatever. She leads her flock, so to speak, to safety. Along the way, she figures out that her confidant that she was ran the commune with, turns out he's a synthetic, he's a robot, he's an android, and that this was all big setup that that the company had set this whole thing up, and was gonna experiment on use the commune as experiment for the alien breed aliens. So they escape. They're across on the other side of the planet. There's another commune, another sect or whatever of the same religious cult, and they're gonna go seek refuge there. They get over there, and they find some of the survivors there, and she's talking with the guy, and she's like, he's like, what's his name? The guy who turned out to be the android. He says, well, he turned out to be an android. He says, oh, well, come in here. Well, come inside, get out of there, come to safety. And she's like, hey, I want you to cut your arm real quick. And she gives him a nut, like, cut your arm. I want to see what color your blood is. Because if it ain't red and it's white, if you're bleeding milk, then you're an android. And he basically, okay, fine. And then he ends up shooting her. It turns out he was an android. And it's like, again, it's a whole setup. He's been put there. They basically, the government used this planet for these religious nuts to go there to basically get harvested for the aliens. And so basically, like, said, okay, but she doesn't die. She ends up, surviving the gunshot wound and vowing, revenge, and she's gonna survive this. And meanwhile, not the Congress, what are they called? Congregation. They're all her church followers are in the hive, and the eggs are hatching, and the face huggers are coming out, and that's where the book ends. And she's like, I vow to save my flock or whatever. So yeah, I've been digging this storyline. There's all these religious undertones, and these existential questions about life and the meaning of life and the purpose of life. And then you got coming with this organism that's this parasite that lives off of other living beings and needs them to procreate. So there's all this, this religious commentary going on between, organized religion and, how, it sort of diminishes free thought, and these aliens who, are using other people or using other living things for their own survival. So I'm digging it. And like I said, if you see this picture here, they go a little hard. Like these books can be a little light on gore at times, but every so often you get to see some cool shit like this. Yes, it's alien blood. It's not red. But sometimes you do see some gore. So I give it a 4 out of 5. This story arc has not lost me yet. So pretty cool.
Okay. On your recommendation, Eli, I might pick this up on Marvel Unlimited just to catch up with it.
The first arc is okay. The first 1 through 6, when they first picked it up, it's okay. But this one, it's a brand new story. It's a brand new, basically what Dark Horse did. Dark Horse just took, alien stories and with different characters, basically a different story every arc, and it was different characters. The only thing consistent is the aliens and the company and all that. So, okay. But I've been digging this one.
Cool. All right. So, next book I'm going to do actually is Amazing Spider-Man #1.
Okay.
I'll say Last Ronin for the last.
Right.
So like I said, they relaunched Spider-Man again because Spider-Man, I think, is celebrating his 60th anniversary this year. So they want this big blowout thing to happen. So they want to do Spider-Man and bring him back into it. And to celebrate Spider-Man coming back, they got my least favorite artist, John Romita Jr., to draw this, which I promised myself I would never. I basically go out of my way to not read John Romita Jr. shit, but somehow he always is in shit. So drawing shit. So I have no choice but to read it because it's Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is supposed to be some kind of big thing coming up in these big crossovers. So if I don't read it, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So Marvel has me by the short and curlies once again. So here we go. Spider-Man. Okay. Is it showing up? It ain't showing up yet. Anyway, what do we got? There it is. If I showed up. Cool. All right. So
that looks like Spider-Man to me, dude. I don't know why.
Okay,
I don't know why you shit on his art so much.
I'll be honest with you. This didn't look that bad. The art wouldn't be bad, but some of that other shit, man, it makes my eyes bleed. But yeah,
I don't know. I was like, damn, I don't have any problem with John Romita Jr. I don't know.
All right, let's get to this. Let's get to this story. All right, okay. So John Romita Jr. here. Anyway, let's start off. What the book starts off with. You've seen some previews of keep up with it. That's what we're outside of Pennsylvania. This huge crater that is explosion going on, and we see Spider-Man in the center of the crater, holding a spider tracer or something like that, and he just 6 months later. They never explain what the fuck happened. We just move on. Just rush past that. Don't worry about that. He's talking to Aunt May. I get that. And apparently him and Aunt May are having some issues. She's like, look, Peter, you lied to me. We don't know what it is he lied about. He just like, and she kicks him out. She's like, get the hell out of my house. I don't want to see you again. Aunt May tells him she don't want to see him again. So whatever he did is fucked up, but we don't know what he did, you know. And she's just like, look, man, I don't want to lie to you. He like, then don't lie to me, because everything you say, I'm believe you anyway. So just whatever lies you got, keep it to yourself and get the hell out of here. So there it is. So he's sitting there. He goes back to his apartment in Alphabet City. And he's waiting there by a bill collector with a bill from McCarthy Medical Center saying, you got this hefty bill that you got to pay for. You been calling my aunt? Don't call my aunt anymore. Well, somebody got to pay for it. Well, like, don't worry about it. I'll find a way. So anyway, he gets there, and his old roommate from 6 months ago, Randy, is there waiting for him. And Randy's like, man, I ain't seen you in 6 months. I've been paying on his apartment while you ain't there, and I don't even live here anymore. And so, and he's like, hey, Randy. Like, hey, Randy, that's all you got? I mean, you fell off the face of the earth. You know, tell me where you're at. You know, I haven't seen what you've been. You're growing this beard. What the hell's going on? What's going on with Aunt May? Okay, let me be clear. What do you want, Randy? That's what Peter tells her. He's like, well, damn, man, you gotta be like that. But anyway, remember my girlfriend 6 months ago, Janice? Well, I asked her to marry me. And so, and I'm gonna be traditional and ask her dad if she wants to, if ask for her dad for hand in marriage. But you know who her dad is. So all I need you to do, Pete, is to call my phone at 8 o'clock just to make sure no crazy shit is going on. That's all I need you to do. He's like, okay, bye, Randy. And that's it. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You know, close the door on him. And then he's like, man, you ain't the same anymore, Pete. I don't even recognize you anymore. And that raggedy ass beard don't work anyway. You know, then he left, you know. And then he's about to call Mary Jane, but he doesn't. You know, so we'll know what's going on with that. And then he gets a phone call from Randy. We see the timeline of Randy, like in January, March. Randy, like, man, what the hell? Where you at? You know, but he texts Randy. Randy texts his address of where he's going to be at 8 o'clock. He was like, look, just call me just in case some shit happens, because you know who Janice's dad is, and you know it's some serious shit. So if you don't come, it might be some crazy shit. And the next page, we go to Janice's dad, Tombstone. And he's working out some mob deal, you know, going on right now. And apparently Wilson Fisk's son, the Rose, is there. You know, they're trying to work out a deal, but the Rose didn't have any territory. And Tombstone's are like, look, he's not the kingpin. I don't recognize him as the kingpin. He's just some snot-nosed brat. You're like, oh, I'm a snot-nosed brat. Okay, and there's crash to the door, and there's some mutant gamma monster that goes to the door. And he's just like, yes, I brought him back from the dead. He was like, yes, because of the green door. He like, shut the fuck up about that green door, you know. And then he's just like, okay, now I got muscle and you got muscle. Now, are we gonna handle this deal? And White Rabbit's like, oh yeah, by the time we have some fun in here. She's like, chill, White Rabbit, I got this, you know. And basically just like, okay, look, White Rabbit, I want you to meet me at 143rd and Malcolm in Harlem, and we'll settle the deal there. And if you don't make it there, then that's on you. But that's where we're going to do business. Plus, I got some business I got to handle around the town anyway. I got to have a dinner to meet. So you handle that shit, and we're done. Is there any more business? Okay, cool. We're done. So everybody leaves, and that's it. And then so Pete decides to shave his beard because Randy said this shit looks stupid. He's actually going to go to the dinner with Randy also. He's like, I'm going to go there. But before he goes there, the Human Torch is there flying there. He's like, hold up, Pete. We got to talk. He's like, look, man, turn the heat down. He's like, man, if you were a real friend, you know I can't turn the heat down because Dr. Doom did some crazy shit to me. If people hadn't been reading Dr. Fantastic Four, Human Torch slept with Dr. Doom's wife. So he cursed him so that he'd never turn his fire off. That's what's going on with that shit right now. So he's like, man, you stole from us, and I can't let you do that shit no more. So apparently, Pete is pissed off the Fantastic Four, Aunt May, Mary Jane, his best friend. We don't know what it is. And Pete's just like, look, man, get the hell out of my face. And he leaves. He's like, look, I ain't got time for this shit. I gotta be somewhere, you know. So he goes there to the dinner, or tries to go to the dinner. That's when Randy's sitting there talking to Tombstone. He's like, look, I know you're a businessman, but I got some business with you also. And look, Janice wants to get married, so I want to ask for a hand in marriage. And that's when Tombstone just stops cutting his food. He's just like, look, where I'm from, people just take what they want. So how about you just do what you want to do anyway? And then you find out how I feel about it. And he's like, oh, I ain't mean that. He's like, calm down, man. I'm not going to do shit to you. Plus, I know your dad. Your dad stabbed me with a pitchfork one time, so I don't want to get his bad side in the way. And so Pete looks and sees, okay, so Randy's cool. Nothing wrong with Randy. So I'm going to just take off. Right? So he take off. That's when he sees the White Rabbit getting in with a bunch of goons. He's like, uh-oh, there's some shit. So he Spider-Man's like, oh, okay, that doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look that bad.
Is it his shading? His cross shading or something?
No, it's not that bad in this instance, in this scenario, But the thing is with Peter Parker,
that is like he does have a distinct style.
He does have a distinct style. So, like I said, in this panel, it's not that bad. But the thing is, now normally Spider-Man, when he's trailing people, he would like swing up and shit like that. But since Harlem didn't have those tall buildings, he's got to ride on the car. So he just sits on the car, rides to where they're going. Like, I'll just take a load off. So he gets to where they're going, and it's the meetup with the Red Roses people, And then what are they selling? They're selling a Goblin glider, and that's when Peter's just like, Goblin glider, how much is it going for? Y'all got some miles on it? I might throw a price in it too. So he just completely gives away his position. It's like, Spider-Man, Digger, get him. And that's when the Spider Sense is going off, but he don't know where the Spider Sense is at. And that's when, boom, he snatches through the car and just grabs him. And so he's about to get choked out. And he's like, I got about 6 seconds before he chokes the life out of me. So he just snaps his fingers off and then throws it back to him. He's like, what'd you do that for? He's like, he's about to choke me. What am I supposed to do? And that's when the Red Roses people, the Roses people about to run off with the Goblin glider, and White Rabbit is like, hold up, you're not running off with my glider. Kill everybody. Shoot everything moving. That's when Spider-Man dodges out the way. Red Roses people jumps out the way. The Gamma Monster throws the car, and he saves White Rabbit and some other people also. And then they take off. So Spider-Man and so White Rabbit, too many names. White Rabbit tells Spider-Man, okay, you better go rescue Kareem. So he rescues Kareem before he blows up in the car himself, and he gets out of there. But he's too exhausted to chase after the Gamma Monster. But he tells White Rabbit, look, you stay right there. When I catch my breath, I'm gonna catch you too. Like, no, you're not. Police are coming, and they want you just as bad as they want me. He's like, okay, cool, you're right. But before I leave, can I offer you some thwip thwip? Like, what's some thwip thwip? Thwip thwip, and then webs her up to the car, and the other dude that like tries to free her, and his hands get stuck to the web. And you're like, oh, so you gonna tell me what happened to the Gamma Monster? You're like, well, fuck you. You're like, okay, but Spider Tracer leaves and decides to go chase after him. Can't find him, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm just go to sleep. And he gets a phone call from Mary Jane, and Mary Jane pretty much says, don't call me again, lose my number. So what's that all about? We'll find out later. We go to Harlem. We got Tombstone, and he's basically just saying, like, Spider-Man fucked your whole deal up. You pissed off the Rose. He's like, I don't give a shit about the Rose. Who the fuck is the Rose? And so when he goes there and takes a drink, martini, he smells some shit. He's like, oh, shit. Boom. His house blows up. And then the Rose's minions leave a rose. So he knows they know it was him. And coming out of the mansion is Tombstone. And he saves his cat. So he's like, okay, this means war, So we cut to Peter Parker, and this next page is boring because Peter Parker's life is boring. He has no job. Aunt May is talking to him. He can't go to he can't go to Mary Jane's house. So he just walks, and that's when Tombstone pulls up to him. He tells him, get in the car. You're like, you still cool with Spider-Man, right? You're like, yeah. Okay, good. I want you to send Spider-Man a message. That deal last night, he fucked it up, and he basically caused a war between me and the Rose. And I want to know that anybody that dies in that is on his head. And after I kill the Rose, I'm coming for him next. And that's when Peter just starts laughing. You're like, what you laughing at? You're like, because Spider-Man just told me the other day, man, his life is boring right now. He's got nothing going on. But now the fact that you say you're coming for him, well, that gives him something to do. So he'll be waiting for you. And you're like, you're a weird ass dude, Peter. Get the hell out of my car. And he kicks him out, and that's it. So he leaves, and it just turns out that he happens to be at Mary Jane's apartment. So he just walks off. Mary Jane sees him, doesn't say anything, and as we see some dude named Paul. Yeah, Paul. And Paul's just like, oh, I hope you got time for your kids. Dun, dun, dun. Like, where the fuck that shit come from? And the end. Oh, and the stinger ended with Dr. Octopus getting kidnapped or some shit. Who cares? Yeah, so that's the book. Not bad. It was okay, I guess. Still,
Yeah.
what was I say? What Spider-Man's from? Amazing Spider-Man #1 just came out last week.
Just came out,
yeah, it just came
Thanks
out.
for
So that's the book.
listening, Baraka.
Yeah. From Mortal Kombat. Oh, let me see. Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 2. Yeah, so the book was okay, I guess. Johnny's art wasn't that bad, I guess. He had a good inker. So the inker kind of saved the book. So will I stick with it?
Yeah.
No, but at least I had to know what's going on with this one. So
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it. I mean, I did enjoy the Mob War stuff, but I haven't read Spider-Man in a while, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, when you open the book and like, what the hell's going on? Why is this big crater, or what the hell happened? And
that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. This is actually like you can just don't know anything about Spider-Man, pick this book up, because the crater, they won't tell you till later on. That's supposed to be the hook, the stinger, to keep you reading.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that never happened.
But I didn't know. I didn't know who Randy was, and I don't know. Yeah, I was like,
yeah. Well, I kind of I didn't know who Randy was by contact clues. He must be Robbie Robertson's son. So yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I didn't know who. Yeah, I didn't know he was his roommate. I just don't know the status quo of Spider-Man right now. So I was just like, But I didn't. I thought the Tombstone stuff. The Mob War. Yeah, it's coming out. We're coming out of Devil's Reign. Wilson Fisk just, skipped town, left his son in charge, and now there's a power play. That I find that.
And it would make sense that the established gangster wouldn't respect him. Like, he's not just gonna walk in because your daddy says you in charge. No, don't. The mob don't work that way. This ain't Goldman Sachs or some shit.
I'd rather see this play out in a Daredevil book, but sure, Spider-Man's fine.
True, but remember, this used to play out in the Spider-Man book first before Daredevil became about that mob shit. So it's kind of like a back to basics in Spider-Man.
Basically, yeah. All right, what else we got? Am I doing? Okay, you're doing Ronin, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else do I got? I'll do the Godzilla.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you had like a ton of shit. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what am I doing? Godzilla versus the Power Rangers, #2.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm not a big Power Rangers fan. I mean, really not at all. I was like in college when this shit was the hit.
We are not the target demographic.
I was old when y'all were playing with Power Rangers toys. I was like, I was in college. I was an adult, so I never really watched the show. But I am aware of them. I know who the Power Rangers are. I know them. I know what they are as a concept. So, but I am a fan of Godzilla. Yeah, I like Godzilla because I'm old. So this is, best of both worlds. We got Godzilla, giant kaiju, versus a team that was inspired by, Japanese kaiju shows. So yeah, the storyline, who gives a shit, right? It's like they go to a different, the multiverse. Everyone knows about the multiverses and shit. Power Rangers
go to another by Thursday, so yeah.
Yeah, they go to the multiverse of chasing, what's her name? Rita, the villain of the Power Rangers. Yeah, her and all her golden lion Goldar, whatever. All her villains.
That's all the Power Ranger shit I know. That's it. So.
Yeah, they go to the Godzilla universe, where Godzilla is fighting the Exilians, which are villains from the movies, and they're basically controlling Godzilla to take over the Earth because they want, Earth has the resources, blah 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 blah. They're using giant monsters to destroy the Earth and take it over. Rita teams up with these aliens, the Exilians, and they just an excuse for them to fight. That's all you need. Who cares why they're fighting? We're just here to see them fight. Big giant monsters and big giant monster robots fighting each other. Last issue, the Dragon Zord or whatever it was called fought Godzilla, got its ass kicked, and they called in Tommy.
The Green Ranger,
the Green Ranger. He shows up
or the White Ranger, depending on the continuity.
Yeah, he shows up and he's like, he ends up getting captured by Rita, but who gives a shit? Anyways, Exilians call in Gigan, which is one of my favorite Godzilla villains. Because he made him bleed. Yeah, this motherfucker made Godzilla bleed back in the day, and I was like, holy shit. He made Godzilla bleed. That's fucked up. So yeah, Gigan's always been one of my favorite Godzilla villains, and basically it's Gigan teaming up with Rita's giant monsters. She's got a bunch of giant monsters too, and they're all fighting, and the Power Rangers got their big giant Zords or whatever, and everybody's fighting. It's just big giant robots and monsters fighting. And that's all it is. And that's all I care about. You got Freddie Williams's art, which is dope. He's always been doing these DC or these crossover books. He was doing the Batman Ninja Turtle books or the He-Man and DC books or whatever. And he's doing this Power Rangers and Godzilla. Art's dope. Stupid fun. I'm enjoying it. And I don't even know who I barely know any Power Rangers shit. So yeah, 4 out of 5.
Cool. Okay. All right. Next book I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and do TMT The Last Ronin. This is the final book of this one, and I feel like we've been waiting forever for this book to come out.
I know, man. It was like a year ago was the last.
Damn near. And they're just like, okay, we'll come out with it sometime in 2022. So it's finally here. For those that haven't keeping up, that don't know what this book is, this is supposed to be, in continuity terms, the last Ninja Turtle story, like period. They're all dead except for Michelangelo, and he's trying to get revenge on the last clan member, basically like Shredder's grandson or son or some shit like that. Yeah, some shit like that. It's the last member. So last episode they kill Baxter Stockman. That takes out like the robot Mousers and shit like that. So now there's like the final assault on the things, on the people. So yeah, let's get to it. All right. So, hold on. We got who's with me? Hey, Janae, I see you. I can't put your notes up, but I see you. All right, so we're gonna talk about the last round.
I don't. Oh, you're gonna tell me why? But
I'll tell you why. I can't tell. I can't tell the public why, but I can tell you why. But I'll tell you why. All right. So anyway, we got Mikey there. He's sitting there deciding on what to do next, and the guy, all his dead brothers, telling him, "Why haven't you taken out Shredder's son yet?" He was like, "Why haven't you stormed the base and stuff like that?" He was like, "The reason I can't do that because if I go there, I'm going to get my whole team killed. All those people that have helped me out, like April and her daughter and shit like that. So I just can't rush in there and do it." You know, and they tell him, "Oh, you too weak to do it. You always been the worst turtle, the least trained turtle. That's why, why we sacrifice ourselves. That's why you're just sitting here, with the thumb up your ass trying to figure out what to do." He was like, "Okay, everybody stop talking now." When he does that, they disappear. They no longer talk to him.
For those who don't know, this is all in his head. They're all dead, but he's still imagining.
Right. He's like here imagining they're there, hallucinating they're there. But when he says, "Stop talking to me," they're done. They don't come back again. So, yeah. So it's just Mikey's just on his own. He writes in Splinter's
and he's
journal.
Got all their weapons. That's pretty
cool. And he carries them all at one time, stuff like that, and he's stronger than he's ever been before, because like 15 years after they all died. So apparently each year they get stronger. So he's stronger than all of them combined by himself, and he walks out. He's like, "I'm gonna leave by myself. I'm gonna leave my Splinter's journal here, and I'm gonna go take out Hiroto Saki by myself so nobody else can get hurt." Meanwhile, they're causing rebellion and stuff like that. And since basically the cyborg robots, policemen aren't on the road, now it's just riots all over the street and shit like that.
Yeah.
Casey's
Shredder's son or whoever is like the leader, this totalitarian leader of this future dystopian world, and he's
right. And he just got word that Baxter Stockman is dead, and he grabs a henchman, and he does what you expect. He cracks the henchman's neck, kills him. "You have failed me for the last time," all this shit like that. So he's dead. Like, what the fuck y'all looking at? Yeah, I killed a guy. Go back to work. Get the system back online, because I know that stinking mutant is going to come here and try to kill me. So we got to make sure we're ready for him. So, and bring me my armor. So apparently he has Shredder armor of his own. We hadn't seen it yet, but we're going to see it here. So now Mikey's just looking at, Hiroto's tower. He's like, "Yeah, I'm about to go in here." Casey, April's daughter, Casey, sees that they left the book, and she calls Mikey Sensei. And she's just like, where's Sensei? And April's like, "I ain't seen him. He left." "You left? How'd you let him leave?" And she breaks it all. And that's when she kind of like do the soap opera drama. "You didn't tell me I was a mutant. You didn't tell me I had superpowers," stuff like that. Because apparently hanging around the turtles for so long made her and Casey, whatever. She's got powers. Okay.
It messed with his sperm. or something.
Yeah. Some shit, yeah. So that's why she's got superpowers now. So anyway, Mikey sneaks into Hiroto Saki's base, blows it up, which caused a distraction just enough to sneak in, but the destruction was too explosive that Hiroto, okay, he's here. Let's get ready, you know. So where he knows he's here. But the thing is, see, the last time Mikey tried to come here, he couldn't get past the guards because there was a whole bunch of robot mousers and cyborgs and shit like that. Now it's just regular ass people. And this is what a super strong turtle after 40 years does to regular ass people. You know, make mincemeat of them. They were nothing to him. Everybody's a bunch of dead bodies, except for this one guy that's ready for him. So he takes him out pretty easily. You know, he uses him to kick the door open. And that's it. Once he gets in there, chops him in the neck. And once he gets in there, then he sees a bunch of robot birds and shit like that. So apparently the only reason these robot birds are still here because they're like on a different network that wasn't connected back to Stockman's network, so they can do that. And that's when this big bird dragon robot shows up, and Mikey kills him pretty easily also, you know. And like, okay, Hiroto, quit fucking around with these robots and ninjas and shit like that. Come out, fight me. Quit being a pussy. And he's like, okay, come on, fight me. He's like, yeah, if you want to fight me so bad, why you waited 10 years to come kill me? Motherfucker's been 16 years. Oh, really? Oh, well. Time flies when you're having fun. He's like, so he goes there. He's like, I'm going to kill you and your mother. That's Karai, you know, Shredder's daughter or wife. I forget which one. But anyway, he's like, I'm going to kill both of you. He's like, who? Her? The only reason she's here reason she's in that stasis thing there because Raphael fucked her up when he died, you know. But he's like, her, I don't even care about her. Only reason I left her alive just out of spite. But you know what? I don't even need it anymore. So kills his own mother. She's dead. Deader than she was already. You're like, okay, you ready? You think I would just you're like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and fight. So he's wearing a Shredder outfit himself, but it's like metallic alloy that just kind of like covers him.
It's like the T-1000, the Terminator.
Like a T-1000, yeah, kind of like that. Blades come out of nowhere. He like, let's do this. So they get to fighting. Meanwhile, the whole building is coming apart because Mikey had set explosive all over the place. So they're fighting. But the thing is that liquid metal, he can't get past it, you know. But he's like kicking the shit out of Mikey right now, and then flips over him. And time for you to die, Hellspawn. You first, mama's boy, you know, and then throws him out the building. The building blows up. They fall out. They both fall out the window. Yeah, Casey doing some other shit. They keep falling. And he don't even care. He's fighting him on the way down, you know, like in the Matrix and shit like that. They fighting each other, and then they happen to land on a water tower. But Hiroko Saki just gets out of it. What? Shredder Jr. Look, I'm Shredder Jr. He gets out of it, no problem. He ain't even hurt. Meanwhile, Mikey is kind of fucked up. He like, oh yeah, I need a second to breathe, you know, to get from that shit. But he's just coming for me. He can't find a weakness in his armor, except for he sees a little thing that just happened right there. He's like, okay, it hit him a little bit, but it just recovers. It's liquid metal, so it just recovers. Like, okay, that gives me a little bit of weakness. So he goes in there, he pulls out Raphael's Psi, and they go to work. But meanwhile, he's no match for him. He's just, and Casey, April's daughter, is trying to do the thing. And yeah, Shredder is steady going at Mikey. And he thinks he's got a plan to kind of like break his armor. So what he does, he takes a hit on purpose. But he puts a bomb in his hand. So the bomb blows up and leaves his hand exposed just for a second. That's when he stabs with the side. You're like, that's the best you can do with these weapons? You're going to just poke me? Stupid mutant. So he breaks Raphael's side, and and his building completely blows up and shit like that. But he looks at his building getting destroyed, distracts him, and then Mikey smacks him off the building. You know, more Casey shit. Yeah, he falls all the way down on Bleecker Street where Dr. Strange lives, and Mikey finds him and stabs him on the way down because he realized he sees just enough opening to get him. You know, so he's like, okay, that should kill him. And he's like, look, that's just enough. He's like, okay, look, I give. You win. It's over. Mercy. You're like, oh, there ain't no mercy. No, you forgot what this is. No, this is a fight to the death. You die. You're right. This is what it goes. And he slashes him in the gut. And it's enough that Mikey just runs away. He's like, okay, this dude's kicking my ass right now. I got to get the hell out of here. Smacks him in the face with Donatello's bow. And then he gets away. The whole thing coming about. He gets out of his Ronin arm and shit like that, pats himself up before his guts bleed out of him. And the only weapon he got left is his nunchucks. You're like, okay, let's go. So he starts smacking the face with nunchucks and like that. And it's actually doing some damage. Actually going to work with those nunchucks. Smacking them, beating them, smacking the hell out of them. But then when April had, put the water, basically the whole sewer's being flooded, so they get flushed out. They get flushed out on the outskirts of the city, and that's when Michelangelo, look, that's what you deserve. Now you're on the outside of the city, covered in shit, no longer the hot top dog, and I'm about to kill you right now. So while he's doing it, apparently Shredder Jr. got another weapon where he's got like some kind of, and just shocked the shit out of him, and they both shock him and keep shocking him, and then they fall into the mud, whatever. And then Hiroto wakes up, but he's dead, assed up, face down, all this shit like that, and then that's when Mikey finally, okay, I finally killed this guy, but the damage he took was so tough, he's bleeding out anyway, That's when Casey Marie shows up. She's like, Sensei, you're like, it's me. And then she like, look, I got Splinter's journal. You got to teach me everything in this book. You're like, look, I left the book for you for a reason. Read the book. It'll teach you everything you need to know. But the most important thing, read the last page. And I wrote that myself, not for Splinter. It's no peace. That's the last page in the book. And that's when April shows up and sees Mikey. She's like, damn. So, you know what? This was way more sadder than the Justice League getting killed. Like 8 of those motherfuckers,
The next part, the next scene, man. Kind of.
So he flatlines and he wakes up and he sees his brothers, and he sees Splinter. They're like, come on, we gotta go train. You've always been the slowest one. Wake your ass up, Mike. We gotta go. So they're running and training, stuff like that, and he's slow, he can barely catch up with them. And that's when that's when Casey shows up, because Casey also died.
Yeah, Casey died too.
Yeah, so Casey that's chilling with him, and that's when Splinter shows up, because Splinter died, Splinter chilling with him. And it's just like, you know what? It smells like home. The end. So Mikey went home. He died, but he went home.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty good. But wait, there's more. So Casey Marie is training, with the sandbag, and she just kicked the shit out there like she's super strong and shit like that. He's just like, well, I'm tired. It's time to go get something to eat. Y'all hungry? And what's that? Honeycutt? I think it was Honeycutt. Professor Honeycutt. Yeah, I think April's working on Professor Honeycutt or whatever. Okay. Meanwhile, Casey Marie is Casey Marie.
What's his name? Not Centurion. What's his name?
Triceraton or something? Utron.
Fugitoid. That's his name.
That's what it is. Yeah, I think she's trying to revive him. And meanwhile, Casey Marie is looking, and she said, hey there, y'all need to hurry and grow up, because I got so much stuff to teach y'all. And what is she doing? She's putting mutagen in 4 turtles. So she's going to raise these 4 turtles. And yeah, that's the book. And it said to be continued. To be ninjas, because she's going to train them to be ninjas. Yeah, because they're going to be teenage ninjas. So interesting. So she's going to be like the new Master Splinter to train these ninjas. So, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be Michelangelo 2.0 and Raphael 2.0 and all stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, pretty good. So honestly, pretty good book. Kind of predictable. I mean, it didn't throw you any loops or crazy like that. It ended exactly how you expected it to end. It just wrapped the story. So overall, I give it a 4 out of 5. I still love this. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a big action. It was just a big fight. It was the final showdown between Mikey and Shredder's son or whatever,
Yeah. Which we knew it was coming. So yeah.
We saw coming. So it was cool to see that play out. But yeah, I mean, I liked, and I kind of thought, we all kind of knew that Mikey was going to die at the end, but I still kind of wished he didn't.
Right. Because it was sad watching all of them die, because each issue was a different turtle dying. Yeah,
we saw them all die, and that was I gotta admit,
and it was a gut punch every time. Yeah.
Watching all our favorite turtles die. But I gotta say, like, when Michelangelo finally passed away, and then he went to the spirit world or wherever, and he reunites with his family, his brothers, and Splinter and Casey and all that. I was hoping there's one of the old, Mirage Studio comics where Michelangelo goes back. I think it was like based with that Turtles in Time movie was based on, where Michelangelo goes back to like feudal Japan and he fights a bunch of samurais and ninjas and at the end of the comic, it turns out he was drawing it. It was just like he was drawing his own comic of his own story, pretending that he was in feudal Japan. So when
it was basically like their version of an Elseworld story, kind of.
Yeah. So when I'm reading that part, I'm like, oh, has this thing been a whole? Is this story just been a comic that Michelangelo was drawing? And I was hoping that would
have been a cop out. That would have been a cop out.
It would have been, but I was like, part of me was like, I don't want him to die.
Right.
I mean?
Like he just made it up and none of it matters. So like
like that's how much this story touched me. That's how much moving I felt. Like, oh man, it's like, he is really dead. Oh man, So I really enjoyed this whole. I mean, it's what, 2 years? When did this come out? Like
it was like 2 years ago when it first got out. Yeah.
It was like our book of the year, like 2020. And that was like only 2 issues had come out or something.
Right. Because we were just waiting and it just took forever. And now it finally came out. So I'm like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
Just so
go back and read it all in one volume now. Shit.
Yeah, that's why I had to kind of reread it to kind of catch up because I kind of forgot shit that happened. Like, oh yeah, they did kill Baxter Stockman. Okay, yeah. So all right. So what you got? Oh, I'm not gonna do 5 Nights of the Joker or some shit like that.
Oh, you're not? Oh.
Okay. Yeah, we've done. I feel like we've done enough books for the night. Okay. I might do it another night.
I think that's my last book then. Okay. I don't think I think I'm booked out then. If we're not doing
when we get a slower week, I'll do, and we'll probably both do like some Neal Adams books, stuff like that. Like I said, those books were awesome. I want to go into detail and talk more about them, but I don't really feel like that. There is one more thing I want to talk about before we get out of here, Eli. Not that, but since we don't talk about music enough on here, I do want to talk about some music on here. An album did drop this week that I was enjoying, and that was Czarface.
I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is it is that the one with the comic? Because I know they released a graphic novel.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on. I think it's on their website right now. For those who don't know who Czarface is, first off, it's led by Inspector Deck of the Wu-Tang Clan. He's the main guy on it, and 2 other guys. I can't remember who these guys are. I'm pretty sure Eli, whatever.
Yeah, Esoteric and what's his name? Not Big L. LP? No, LP's in
LP's shit. That other group.
No, Esoteric. I forget the DJ's name. But yeah, I've been listening to these guys since they first dropped in like 2012, 2013. So yeah, I've been waiting for this, and it's nerdy. It's nerd.
It really is. It's all kind of just nerd comic rap, so like that. Even the cover of the book, like I said, is Czarmageddon. It's a reference to Secret Wars 10. And every reference. I'm gonna just read some of the names of the song titles on here. You get a trip out of this. Let me see. What do we got here? The Zarlak Pit. That's the intro. Walk Through Walls. Splash Page. New Mutants. Czar Wolfman. Like just weird shit like that, man. It's just like interesting shit. So it's just like nothing but like nerd puns. The whole sounds like that, just rhyming. Like I said, Inspector Deck is like one of my favorite rappers already anyway. Yeah. So you just hear this shit. Like, we don't recommend a whole lot of music on this podcast, but go listen to it. People always complain about, oh, there ain't no good shit out there. There ain't no good music out there. There is music still out there. You got to look for it. You got to find it. It's not on the radio, but if you know to look, it's still, people are still making shit.
Cliff, is Cliff listening? You got to listen to some Czarface.
Listen to some Czarface, Cliff. I know you think everything sucks. Everything before 1995 sucks, but no. This is an awesome album. You'll like this.
This is just a throwback to that shit. It's just straight up old school.
It sounds like that, but it's new shit.
That old boom bap, beats and and rhymes about geeky, nerdy shit.
And it's clever shit. It was some shit they were saying in my head. Like it's just punchline after punchline after punchline. You're like, damn, this shit. I'm gonna go back and listen to it again after we finish. Finish with this. So
like beats, like if you like this. And it ain't just comic book shit. It's like hip hop nerd, anything like you know, Inspector. You know how the Wu-Tang gets down. They reference everything. Beat Street, Ramo, spitting on my name. Like he's making references to Beat Street. You know, Ramo spitting on my. Remember Ramo, the guy that died and Spit was the tag artist. Like he goes deep. They go like really deep into like nerdy 80s shit.
Yeah, like I said, we recommend this album.
Yeah,
Eli ain't heard it, but Eli
I
already know.
I haven't heard it yet.
I already know you're gonna like this album. I'm
Yeah.
going out on a limb. I bet money on it.
Yeah.
If I don't,
I've
if you
heard all
don't
the
like
other
this
albums.
album, if you don't like this album, I will eat a taco
from Taco Bell.
Maybe. All right. So yeah, follow us next week. Of course, next week Doctor Strange will come out, and yes, we're gonna be all over the news. The Goku and Superman, and you know, Batwoman shows up in the movie. Whatever. Don't spoil it. But when we talk about it, we will spoil it. I don't know if you're gonna see Eli, but if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it. So I'm just letting you know now. So
I pretty much figured so.
Okay, yeah.
I don't have my ticket yet, but yeah, I do. I'm gonna try and see it though.
Okay. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.